interrupt this program for a special news flash.
He was the talking head in everyone's living room and the face of New Coke. He also strangely predicted the dystopian hell we're all living in. This is the story of Max Headroom. Let's check it out.
And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television.
What camera am I supposed to look in?
I don't have an incredible amount of blockbuster memories. That was for the rich kids on the other side of town. I used to go to a little ma and pa store called Jack's Video, and well, Jack was the type of guy that would rent you anything. Even though we were severely underage, Jack would rent us all the best horror tapes, but this time he had a little bit of a different recommendation. I can still remember him sliding this bad dog across the counter and saying, "Why don't you guys try this out? It's not horror, but I think you're gonna like it." Although there's many stories of Max to tell, for the purpose of this video, we will focus on the VHS release.
And it's because you and me have this special relationship that I can tell you about a very special tape called Max Headroom. Oh, God, that name, my trousers are getting shorter.
Wait a sec, wasn't he that dude from the Coke commercials? I had no idea at the time that my childlike brain was about ready to explode.
Parrots are only one rung above politicians, though. You always know when they're lying. Their lips move.
I think Jack was onto something. Well, to tell this story, we're gonna have to hit rewind and go back to the beginning. Max was the brainchild of George Stone, Annabelle Jankel, and Rocky Morton as Channel 4's brand spanking new video host. You might know Rocky Morton as the co-director of the Super Mario movie, which in a second is gonna make a little sense. In all the best ways, they decided to film an origin for Max, which later would be turned into a TV movie. The movie was called 20 Minutes into the Future, but I knew it as Max the Video. The world of Max is the dystopian future ruled by super corporations and littered by old 80s tech. Hey, this could be a movie about my living room. Max would be brought to life by the comic timing of Matt Frewer, who I heard ad-libbed most of his lines, and it really shows for the better.
No, I was born with a hockey stick. It was a very difficult birth for my mother.
Ooh, painful, yes.
Came cross-checking into the world, geez.
I can't imagine anybody else in this role, and I don't think it would have ever taken off without Matt holding the reins.
Yeah, he sounds like the guy from In Living Color.
Mind if I give your place a little inspection?
Sticks, shift it in there, exhaust pipe it, choke it, and smoke it.
I think it's safe to say there's probably a lot of entertainers out there influenced by Max.
Ooh, we all wanted to be as cool as Max was.
Max was known for his changing pitch voice, which would stutter in and out, his personal style, and his always sarcastic personality. Kinda reminds me of somebody else I know.
Oh yeah, skippity-doo.
Max was originally supposed to be fully computer generated, but it just wasn't possible for the tech of the time, and well, I'm kinda glad that it wasn't.
You don't happen to have a plate in your head, do you?
I got a full set of china.
He was created to be everything wrong with American talk show hosts, which were pretty much dominating at the time. In a way, he's no more worse than the average YouTuber. Remember guys, rub them like tiny violins. Coupled with his prosthetic makeup, he looked pretty much like a Super Chad. All of this would make him the world's best video disc jockey. I did find it strange that there was very little Max in his first outing. Restraint isn't something corporations are really known for. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, this movie had a little bit more heart than it was letting on. A lot of the movie is shot with extreme close-ups and through the narrative of found footage. I don't want to spoil all the movie, but the plot synopsis goes a little bit like this. Station 23, in an effort to get more ratings, is beaming super fast commercials at people, and some people are even exploding from it. And I think my brain remembers it as a lot more graphic than it actually was.
Shit.
Ace reporter Edison Carter gets a little bit too close to what's going on and is ordered to his death. He nearly avoids his attackers until a hacker causes him to run headfirst into a Max Headroom sign. Here in the States, we called them maximum height signs, although I don't think Max Height would have had the same ring. The guy that killed Max kinda looks like a high-tech gummo. Come on, dude, clean your bathroom. Max's brain is soon digitized, and he becomes the one and only Max Headroom, albeit with a little bit of head trauma. Something I can kinda relate to. In fact, I can relate to a lot of things in this movie. Big Time Television, who is operating out of an old RV, finds Max, and they quickly find a use for him. Big Time was really struggling, but thanks to Max, their ratings shoot through the roof, much to the dismay of Channel 23.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're Big Time Television.
Out of all the characters, I related to Blank Reg the most.
We have just got to find something better than those bloody old video clips.
Dom! I like them.
For a made-for-TV movie, I absolutely love the world building. It's like they actually thought about the world that they were living in. A lot of people will say that lore isn't important, but how am I supposed to care about your characters if I don't believe in the world that they live in? Lore is the stage and the physics of your world. Everything that happens in that world is important. But hey, what do I know? You just need to get to the next blipvert, right? I really enjoyed the alternate 80s future that this movie portrays. I could see our world at that time evolving in that way. It makes the world feel more rich. It's grimy and disgusting, and it feels lived in. And I absolutely love it. This is a little bit of a side note, but the co-creators of Max Headroom went on to do the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and there's more than enough similarities. In addition to the dystopian setting, King Koopa looks an awful lot like a big evil Max Headroom. It kinda makes it a little bit more awesome.
You later, alligator.
After the movie, Max's popularity got wildly out of control. You couldn't turn a channel without seeing Max somewhere.
Listen. Do you get as excited about Christmas now as you did when you were a kid?
I didn't get very many things as a child. I was 16 before I had my first Porsche.
For an anti-establishment character, Max sure could sell some products. Because after all, we wanted to be Max.
Ew, like those guys that interrupted that broadcast.
Hey, I thought that was pretty cool. The guys were never found, but I kind of want to stick to just talking about the tape. I absolutely love this quote from New York Times. Leaves Steven Spielberg's special effects looking hopelessly old-fashioned.
Skippity-doo, that's a sick-ass burn.
I really enjoyed the anti-super corporation message that this movie had, and it would be pretty sad that Max would later on be in so many adverts that he became the very thing that they spoke against.
Max Headroom. He could have his own show.
The Coca-Cola company thought Max would be perfect to sell new Coke, but not even Max himself could get people to drink that, although I have a little bit of a different opinion. Maybe it was the marketing, or maybe it was Max's influence, but I was the type of kid that really actually liked New Coke. I was pretty sad when they took it away.
Oh, New Coke? It was to die for.
But in the end, if you were truly in on the joke, Max was making fun of the very people paying him all along. It's one of the best things about him. I'm pretty sure that the comedic stylings of Matt Frewer probably had a lot to do with that.
No, that was good, because normally I would go, it's like brewer with an F, and people would go, brewer. All this time I thought it was Kirk Douglas plugging his
No,
buckets.
not Kirk Douglas. Now, you studied in London.
Or maybe Max was just the perfect storm of awesome, something that could never be repeated again. I heard that Max is getting a new show, and I'm a little bit worried. I really enjoyed the practical effects of the original character, and I know they'll probably make him digital now, much like he was in the movie Pixels. And that kind of bums me out. Let's just hope that the people writing for the show are in on the joke.
You're not going anywhere. Murray, you getting all this?
It is crazy how an 80s movie could predict the future so well. I feel like we're living in this timeline right now. You know, the similarities between blipverts and social media are uncanny. We just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. How much longer before we just explode? Or I just kind of lean over and my brain just runs out of the side of my head. I kind of feel like I'm there now. Max would follow up with many more shows, but we'll talk about those in other videos. Well, until next time, tapeworms, I hope that you catch the wave.
If I could travel back in time, I'd lay a blanket full of